Women are not slaves. They can simply go to a state where it is legal. The people of the state have the right to restrict abortions if they vote to do so. So what you're basically telling me with this is that you only think that certain people in certain states deserve to have full rights, while other people in other states only get partial rights and they have to travel to another state to get full rights. See, I find that people that make this argument, it's never anything that affects them personally. Say this was about gun rights. How would you like it if there were some states where guns were absolutely banned? Say you're a gun owner, but you have to give up your guns if you want to live in that state still. What if you had erectile dysfunction and you had to go to another state to get your medication because that state did not think that you should have it? See, the thing about states' rights when it comes to conservatives, my dude, is that some people inevitably end up losing rights. If conservatives had their way, they would bring back segregation in some states. I'm not fully convinced that if conservatives had their way, they wouldn't bring back slavery in certain states. The only time that state rights should be a thing is if you expand the rights of people, not take them away. The only example I can think of this right off the top of my head is marijuana laws. That gives more freedom to people to do what they want to do, but conservatives are against that because conservatives are largely against freedom, even though they call themselves the party of freedom. They want to remove rights for anybody who is not a straight white Christian. And if they're really being honest, straight white Christian male. Then you said, why didn't Obama codify Roe? Because they used it as a political tool. Republicans offered a 16-week ban. Dems rejected. Why? Because government does not deserve to make medical decisions for you. That should be between you and your doctor alone. Why do you think that Democrats should have to negotiate for their medical freedom? And asking why didn't Obama codify Roe, there was no reason that he should feel like he should have to. Roe versus Wade was the law of the land for 50 years. Why do we need to go back behind every decision that the Supreme Court makes to try and codify it because they might decide to change their mind one day? And before the conservative Supreme Court took away people's rights, which is exactly what they did, that had never happened before. So why would Obama think that he needed to codify that when he had bigger fish to fry, like passing Obamacare? Because codifying a law that is already a law just kind of seems like a redundancy. But I get the feeling that none of this really matters to you. You don't really give a shit what happens to women in this country. And one of the main reasons why I know this is because this is your profile picture. And Trump is largely responsible for getting rid of Roe versus Wade. You know how I know that?
I did something that nobody thought was possible. I got rid of Roe v. Wade.
So don't try and tell me that women can just go to another state while Republicans are actively trying to push for a federal ban. Because Republicans do not care at all about individual rights, no matter how much they say it. All they care about is power and how they can force you to live by their rules.